Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are having a great week. We're continuing our talk on the immune system today. Last week we talked about nutrients, supplements, and diet to help support your immune system. Today we're going to talk about stress. And it has been a big year full of stress, and some stress is unavoidable, but we're going to talk about how can we cope with stress because we know it affects our immune system in a negative way. And one of the main reasons is stress takes up so much energy. We all have stress and normal stressors, but when the stressors start to outweigh, normal stresses, what happens is it starts to take energy from other systems, because the immune system, what you want is a balanced immune response. When stress gets too high, it's taking away from this balance and just making it unbalanced, and then that can suppress your immune system. The other thing stress does is releases hormones that can suppress the immune response. Over time, stress hormones like cortisol will blunt your immune response. And again, we all have everyday stressors, but it's chronic stress that actually puts a big damper on the immune system. So it's the stress repeated over and over that really does the harm, because our bodies are made to handle stress, but again, when that stress gets too high over time. So finding ways to cope is really, really important. 2020 has been a really stressful year, and I've seen lots of patients just really having flares of whatever's going on, increased anxiety, all of these things, because stress affects the body physically as well, not just mentally. So how can we cope? I have a list of just common things here that most people know about, and I'm going to mention them briefly, but I'm going to focus on gratitude because I think that is super important. So things like meditation, exercise, things like that, yoga, even laughing has been shown in studies to really help your immune system. Then I have two other things, neurofeedback and DNRS. Those are specific things that are for people mainly that have chronic inflammatory response syndrome, or they have multiple chemical sensitivity where their body stays in fight or flight and they cannot get that down on their own. So this is really like brain retraining to help reset that limbic or fight or flight response in the brain. And so those things are really helpful, especially if you're someone who the response you cannot really calm down on your own. These are very important and very good things to do. And I'll get into those a little bit more in depth as we start talking about the toxic burden in the new year and specific infections that might set people up for that. And today we're going to focus on gratitude, because I think gratitude is so important, especially in a year like this. Sitting down and thinking what we can be thankful for is really important, and that has actually been shown to increase the immune cells in our body, the cells that help us fight infection. Studies have shown that gratitude actually increases those, and a positive outlook actually increases those. The other thing that is really important is gratitude triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your calming rest and digest system. When you're in sympathetic state all the time, fight or flight, your body's thinking about, okay, survival. How can I, there's a tiger behind me, how do I survive? And when you're in fight or flight like that, your body just really can't cope well and even do its daily functions well. And over time, again, that lowers the immune system. But gratitude actually triggers that calming, and I call it rest and digest, because when you're in parasympathetic state, that's when everything is working well together, nutrient absorption, digestion, things like that. And gratitude's really been shown to trigger that, which I think is super important. And there can be tons of stats I could give you on gratitude, but those are the biggest ones. And then people who have gratitude and a positive outlook have shown to have 23% lower cortisol stress hormone than the general population with that more negative stress focus. So gratitude literally can make differences in your immune system. And in my opinion, even more than the supplements, and diet, all those things are important, but stress really is something that you can work on dealing with better. And we all need to work on that because it makes such a huge impact on your body. So how might you incorporate gratitude in your daily life? When I first started the gratitude practice, I started just writing three things down I was thankful for the day. Some days that was easy, some days it was harder. Some days I'm like, I'm coming back to the same ones. But I realized I was doing it like in a rush. I was just doing it really quick at the end of the day. So I think it's really important to get your mind calm when you do your gratitude list, because if your mind is in a calm state, getting in that parasympathetic, then your gratitude flows even more. So gratitude helps parasympathetic state helps you be thankful for more. So it kind of goes both ways. But whether it's going for a walk, listening to meditation music, whatever calms you down, laying down, relaxing, take deep breath, then you can really start to think of what you're thankful for. things really start flowing easier. And I think that's super important. Gratitude, even if you've had an awful day, can really change your outlook. And for me, every day I'm doing 3 things. And sometimes it's easy, it's a good day, it comes to my head. Other days it's very hard and can be hard to quiet my mind sometimes. So I have to lay down, listen to meditation music and prayer. And those things really ground me in to realize what I'm thankful for and what I've been blessed with, even on really hard days. And a year like 2020, one thing we can all be thankful for is the fact that we can see people virtual or via Zoom. When technology works, we're still able to see people, and I think that's important, and that's something we can be thankful for in 2020. Thankful for our loved ones, our families, that we can see them, even if it is virtually. So I really encourage you to incorporate whatever that looks like for you, some kind of gratitude practice every day. Even start with 3 things you're thankful for. Set an alarm on your phone. That's how I started. Got to do my gratitude list for the day. And I think if you do that every day, even if it's 5 minutes you're spending, studies show that really can make a difference. And for me, when I really get into the mood of being gratitude and thankful, like having a lot of thankfulness, I actually feel my body go from to relaxed and calm, and I can tell the difference. So I think that's really important, and for us to come into the Christmas season to remember that, what we can be thankful for and what we've been blessed with, and I think those are all important things to talk about. So that's it for me this afternoon. I'll be taking a break next week on Facebook Lives, but I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. And in the new year, we're going to come back and talk about what everybody's talking about in January, detoxing, but it's going to be a lifestyle of detoxification. And we're going to be talking about the total toxic body burden and things like that. So I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys start working on that gratitude. Have a great afternoon.